Hey, Beta, Doug's gonna get it.
Yeah, happy birthday, Doug.
It has been a bad birthday. That looks like a turtle. And that looks like a man.
I see you back there.
It is a man. Hey, are you okay over there? I can smell you. Oh, it is a good birthday after all. I got my wish.
A new master.
Like a dog.
And that was the happiest day of my life.
Hey, I like dogs.
We have your dog.
You think you coulda get in on my feelings? You coulda get me if you cycle down. Hey, Miggy, I hit and run. Miggy, I hit and run. Hey, it's a girl Shensia representing for CVM TV. See it happen. Oh.
Every time you a link with a condom, coulda Ozzy, coulda wife, coulda be a random. Do it for your best life.
The time by the Ministry of Health and Wellness is
12 p.m.
It's Monday, March 3, 2025. This is CVM News at Noon. I'm Courtney Lewis. Thanks for joining us. The controversy surrounding Portmore as a parish is ongoing as the People's National Party, PNP, claims Portmore's new status is an attack on the democratic election process. MP caretaker for East Central St. Catherine, Raymond Price, says the new legislation invalidates the residents' previously elected vote for mayor.
Do you think, students, that if Andrew Holness' candidate did win the direct elected mayor of Portmore, do you think they would have come now to cancel the authority of your ballot? I want to pass that question. I have a second question to ask. Is there any deeper commitment to democracy than to have the people directly elect their mayor? So if they claim that democracy is the reason for doing this, why are they cancelling the Charter of Portmore, which gives the authority of the residents of Portmore to mark a ballot directly for their mayor?
The agriculture sector is expected to return to full productivity in the next 2 to 3 years. That's according to Portfolio Minister Floyd Green, who says the sector remains in recovery mode.
We're on the rebound. We've had 2 very difficult years. And what I found when I looked at Irish potato production and our programs is that when you have good weather, it does well. When you have periods of drought, it doesn't do well. We have to remove the program from the uncertainty of the weather. And the only way to do that is to expand access to water. And that's why as we go, I'm keen to see how our water interventions are going. What I've said to the RADA team in all of our Irish potato production zones, let's ensure that they have access to water. So I'm happy to see that we've started. I'm happy to see that we're seeing good returns, but this is the rebound. I expect that in another 2-3 years, we will be truly bursting at the seams. In another 2-3 years, I expect that our Irish potato production will surpass what we've ever done and will carry us to where we want to be in terms of being able to supply all that we consume.
The Assistant General Secretary of the Bustamante Industrial Trade Union, Colin Virgo, says inadequate representation fueled the late 2024 hotel workers' strikes, as employees were denied basic rights that proper union advocacy could have protected. He maintains that hoteliers must collaborate further with unions to ensure workers' rights are protected.
We don't shut down places, because at the end of the day, it is also in our best interest to find solutions. That's what we are there for. All we are there for is to protect the worker, to get them, as Sir Alexander Bustamante said, a fair day's wage or a fair day's work. So the people who go to these places, they must do the work, but at the same time, you must pay them fairly. But that's all we say. We're not trying to run anybody out of business. We're not trying to tell anybody how to run their business. The framework is already there in the law. Just allow the collective bargaining process to work. Everybody wins that way.
The Caribbean is known for its high rates for lifestyle diseases. It's why health experts are concerned that the foods being consumed by some Jamaicans are unhealthy. Speaking on Sunrise this morning, registered nutritionist Annalie Gray-Brown says many Jamaicans' food intake may be doing more harm than good.
So where we are is that the food environment is very, very high in foods that are not so good for us. Like literally over 80 to 90% of the foods that we have are literally horrible for us, right? Yeah. And those are the ones that are most highly marketed. So as a result, 1 in 2 of us are obese, 1 in 3 have high blood pressure. Wow. I think it's roughly 1 in 8 has diabetes, 1 in 6 has anemia. It's like we're really struggling, but with support, we can get to where we want to go. All of us have a relationship with food. I mean, food is literally a part of what connects us, right? So no matter where you are in the world, you eat. And traditionally, some of the food that we may want to eat that comes naturally from the ground is better. So what you can do is when you see something being trending on social media, ask yourself, does this appear to be legitimate? So if they're saying one thing is a cure-all for everything, that's perhaps not true. And ideally, what you want to do is just look at the basic principles. Is a thing high in sodium, like lots of salt or MSG added to it? Is it high in sugar? Is it high in fat?
On Friday, thousands of American citizens protested against DEI cuts imposed by top retailers across the U.S., with members of the Jamaican diaspora joining the movement. Carmita Albaros, president of Family Unification and Resettlement Initiative, expressed that while it's a sad reality, it is a price that must be paid.
That is the sad thing, that this has been able to be done by a bully who has threatened so many people. If he does not get what he wants, sadly, people have folded. But we have to show them their loss when they kick out qualified minorities out of jobs and replace these jobs with mediocrity is what is going to be there. And the thing about it is this, they're going to suffer.
Oh, yes.
Because that is what is going to happen. Because that is what it's all about. It's racism. And we have gained too much. We have gone too far, and we have got to roll it back. And that is what he came in with, his agenda with the MAGA folks. That is what they came in with. The sad thing is that we are all going to suffer because of it. We are all going to suffer because of it, but they are going to learn from what we are going to be doing now and into the future when we show them that we have power because we have the purse.
Meanwhile, author Sharon Gordon expressed similar sentiments, reminding of the value of minority groups.
I push back on the whole notion that people think that, wow, it took them, it happened so quickly. Please understand that we kept telling them about Project 2025. Folks listening, they had put it out there. And when a person shows you who they are and tell you who they are, you should believe them. They put it out there and we warned them. We tried to warn them, and folks just didn't really, I would say, really understand what was coming. So here we are now. We have to show them, and that's what we're doing. And I can guarantee you, just what Carmita said, folks have been sending out reminders. This is a concerted effort. We're going to show them how serious we are. We're going to hurt them in the pocket, because that's the only place, that's the only thing they respect.
Hundreds of Jamaicans in Tamarack, Florida were this weekend gifted gas vouchers by the commissioner, who is also a Jamaican, to help offset the expenses of daily life. The move was welcomed by thousands who turned out to secure their vouchers at a time when many spoke of uncertainties in other parts of the country and their lives. Adrian Williams reports.
Scores of Floridians turned out Saturday to enjoy the fruits of a labor forged by Tamarack Commissioner Marlon Bolton through stealth management and partnerships resulting in gas card givebacks. At a time when many refused to spend a dime in protest of the treatment of minorities and immigrants under the DEI, the move was met with open arms and warm smiles. Hundreds of Jamaicans and other minority groups told the media on the ground it was a welcomed move in a time of hardships and uncertainties.
I've been representing the city of Tamarack now for over 8 years as a Tamarack District 1 City Commissioner, and over there so many people have asked me for help, and so I'm so very grateful that I'm able to assist the residents with this initiative. We're giving away over $50,000 worth of gas cards. We hope to help about 1,000 residents with this initiative. As you can see, the lines are already wrapped around Commercial to Powerline Road, and I'm so very thankful to help the residents of the city of Tamarack.
Bolton, who himself is a son of Jamaican soil, knows the struggle and hardships that can come to many households in a foreign country, but shares plans to expand the venture in future.
People are facing really, really tough times, and so I'm so very grateful that I'm able to assist them.
Adrian Williams for CVM News.
And with that, we take a break. More news at noon in just a moment.
Yes, it's tax time. March 17 is the due date for your income tax returns. Self-employed individuals are required to file their annual returns SO4 and estimated return SO4A with income tax, education tax, NHT and NIS due and payable on one return. Companies are required to file the ITO2, which is the annual return, and the estimated return ITO7. Visit jamaicatax.gov.jm or call 888-TAX-HELP for details. Tax Administration Jamaica, working together to serve you even better.
In a world where innovation meets tradition, agriculture is evolving like never before. From the latest sustainable farming technologies to age-old practices passed down through generation, agriculture is
precious to me.
I love the animals. I don't mind getting my hands dirty. I love working.
Join us right here on CVM TV every Sunday during news at 7 as we explore the people, the science and the breakthroughs that are shaping the way we grow, eat and live. You don't want to miss it. This is Farming Forward.
What would you do if a date asked you how much you weigh?
Leave. It was going so well until
ask him how much his mama weigh.
All new Family Feud.
Welcome back. It's time now for a discussion segment. There are many stereotypes when it comes to Generation Z, or Gen Z for short. Well, we hear that they're lazy, entitled, and obsessed with self-care. But how true are these viewpoints? Joining me to discuss this topic and more is O'Neill Madden, lecturer, linguist, and researcher in languages and cultures at the Language Teaching and Research Center at the University of Technology. Welcome, Mr. Madden.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. It's so lovely to have you. So we'll get right into it. Many people perceive Gen Z as lazy and entitled, yet research suggests that they're highly entrepreneurial and socially conscious. From your research and your observations, how do these stereotypes compare to reality?
Yeah, thank you. Very good question. And I think I've seen a lot of comments on social media too, as a columnist and public commentator. I try to keep up with what's going on. And a lot of complaints are saying that Gen Zs are lazy. Um, they don't have the right skills and attitudes when they come into the workforce. And I want to say, on the one hand, to some extent, it's true. We can say that every Gen Z is, into the work. But I think a lot of Gen Zs have realized that, well, they're prioritizing certain things when they get into the workforce, such as their mental fitness, fairness, balance, and working within the scope of the work day, the work schedule. I think what's different from previous years is that, okay, whatever task you're giving me to do, I will do that within the context of my working hours, as opposed to back then when people, out of loyalty and a need to secure permanency in the workforce, a lot of them extended themselves beyond working hours. Nowadays, young people are saying, listen, I have to go to the gym afterwards. And of course, people have other things to do, like, studies, prioritizing family, and other things. So I think it is a little unfair to say that they're outright lazy. I think what a lot of young people don't like to is that level of micromanagement. Like, give me the assigned task and provide scaffolding if it's necessary, but allow me to use my creativity, allow me to apply what I have learned in my tertiary education on the job, as opposed to having, you're just around me every minute of the day, monitoring what I am doing. Personally, that's not something that I would like my superiors to do to me. Like, you can entrust me with the work and I can ask you questions if I need guidance. But don't come and every time you're just micromanaging what I am doing. So I think a lot of young people are very alert in terms of what's happening in the workforce, and they just don't want to deal with the workplace politics that has been happening in a lot of workplaces. And because of that, a lot of people in the workplaces, they're saying, there is this loyalty among young people. And the truth is that based on job demands nowadays and the opportunities that a lot of young people have, they're not settling. They are not settling. And so if the work environment is toxic, if the core values of the work environment do not align with the core values of young people nowadays, a lot of them are not going to stay.
Right,
the world is their oyster, as we've often heard when we're growing up, and people are just moving about.
Right. I'm glad you brought up some of the characteristics. So how is Gen Z redefining traditional expectations, whether in the workplace or in education or even social activism? You brought up some of their characteristics, how they're really working in these aspects.
All right. So I think during COVID and coming out of COVID, we saw a lot of changes taking place. During COVID, there was, flexible work. And so that's something that has really shifted coming out of COVID, which a lot of people are asking for, not just young people, because especially if you work in metropolitan cities like Kingston, Mobile, and other places, you have a lot of traffic to contend with. And again, I think a lot of young people are saying, what do you want us in the office when we can do our work on a flexible basis? But because a lot of the people who work in management want to supervise, want to micromanage, they want young people in the workplace physically. Not that there's not a space for it, of course there is, but I feel like, again, young people are saying, give me the level of independence and autonomy to get the job done, And I will get the job done as long as the objectives are there to be met. I will meet them, but I don't necessarily need to be there physically. Frankly speaking, I have been working remotely since COVID-19, and I'm happy that I work with colleagues who, entrust me to do my task. And of course, I do my job, and I believe I have good work ethic, and I do my job well. And so young people are saying, give me that flexibility. And because we live in an era where we are big on, economic stability as well, and we want to achieve certain things in life, a lot of young people are looking at other streams of income, and they want that flexibility to be able to leverage their skill set. Because the truth is that when we work in certain environments, of course, we're not getting the level of income salaries that we're supposed to be getting, at least, based on our qualification experiences. And so we want to